Let's look at a few ways you can organize your columns in Vansah for Jira. So if you head to your Vansah board here, once your Vansah board has been loaded, you can see that you have columns that appear, which are your default columns or columns that you may have selected to see. So if we restore our columns to default columns, you'll be able to see result, test script, your test case key, your headline, type, and priority. Now if you want to add more columns, you may choose at the top right here, columns, select from the available list of columns you would like to see as default. So in my case, I'd like to see the test run key, and test run issues and attachments as an example. From this view, you may also reorder your view, so you can select what you would like to see. So I'd like to see, in my case, result, test run key. You can change all that here, but if you do save your view, you can also change your view in terms of the column layout from the actual grid itself. So again, I could select and move the column to a position of choice, and by changing your column layouts, that view will appear both for the standard all test cases view and even in your test repository where you may have organized your test cases. So that same view will appear as a layout in your own personal working layout for how you'd like to see your test cases. The latest change, just as an FYI, is that regardless of how many columns you have, even if you have to sort of scroll to the right because of the number of columns, your execute and more options for each test case is always going to be visible, and the select option is always going to now be visible. So they are fixed columns, so it will not impact you regardless of the number of columns you have in your view. So again, just as a recap here, you may choose to move your columns according to the visible columns you have selected from the grid, drag and drop, or from the column selection option, you can change your view accordingly.